the host of Aaron's Hour, Aaron Phillips.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Saturday, December 7th. It is Pearl Harbor Day, by the way. I want to get started in sending out all of our thoughts and prayers and thank yous and remembrances to all those lives lost. Pearl Harbor, of course, the USS Arizona, the ship that sunk with, a couple of thousand seamen on board still. Joining me from Las Vegas is my favorite veteran. I've never said that to him. Well, next to Chief. I got to get you guys one-on-one.
Yeah.
John Styles, JPEG, the man who owns WWDB TV. Good morning, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Have you been to Pearl Harbor?
You know what? 2009, when I was part of the Sports Zoo with Rich Perez, we actually went out there for the Pro Bowl in February. Our team went out there. We did a show from there. And part of our excursion not only was visiting the bases, where I got my first experience shaking hands with commanders and getting commanders coins.
Yeah.
But yes, we did take a tour of Pearl Harbor. I guess the only word that comes to my mind, surreal, when you're out.
Yep. And I noticed that the quietness, it's
Absolutely.
like I realized, holy shit, this place is really quiet. And you would, with that many people there, you would expect more, but it was like a reverence, of everybody that was there.
Absolutely.
And I think every American should see that and Washington, D.C.
I need you to check something for me, my friend. I am on the Aaron's Hour show page on Facebook, and I'm not seeing our feed on there.
Okay, well, it's showing here.
Okay, and I've refreshed, which I know you always yell at me at.
Yeah, the Aaron's Hour show. Yep.
Okay, all right. Maybe before
Aaron's Hour, we've got the.
There it finally popped up. I apologize. Finally popped up. There it is. I kept refreshing as we were talking, and anyway.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier about the shit that's going on with the internet and stuff. So, anyway,
having an issue coast to coast as well.
Yeah. So.
Couple of things, but I do agree. If you ever have a chance to go out to see Pearl Harbor and all of that, do so, because it's very reflective when you're on the bridge that is on over the Arizona, and you still see the oil seeping up, and the lives and the names of those lost are there on the monument board.
Yep.
No matter how noisy it is around you, there is something about that place is like the cone of silence.
Yeah, exactly.
And it allows you to kind of drift off into your thoughts. Washington, I agree. The Arlington Cemetery with the changing of the unknown soldier tomb was also a very, very surreal experience when you look at its representation.
And that's a place that I haven't been to yet, but it is on my bucket list.
It's been so many years. Now that I'm back on the East Coast, we may make it, some plans to go up to Washington and go check all that out. But I want to take this opportunity to thank everybody for tuning in today. The voice is struggling with the voice today. These wide temperature changes out here in Virginia Beach is driving me nuts. It was 26 degrees, and I was telling John that the weather for the next couple of days out here is going to jump back up to the mid to upper 60s for 5 days with rain, and then drop back off 20 degrees by Friday, back down to 47. So it's caught up with me. I'm doing the best that I can to keep it from becoming bronchitis. So if I get a little raspy, or if I start laughing and choking, my finger is on the mute button. So this way I won't cough all over the internet. So
okay, good. Well, here, smoke this.
Yeah, they were exactly right. Wait a minute. I have still one of these.
It's an inhaler.
I have that. Speaking of, you know what? You're there. I don't know if you all could see this. I got this, and I don't remember where. It's a pen that's in the shape of a cigar.
Oh, cool.
And I used to use this in timeshare a lot. I mean, like, there's the writing implement. I don't know if you guys can see the end.
Yep.
But it's such a novelty. I've refused, and I'm out of ink on it, and I refuse to get rid of it because it is such a novelty that I find that I hold it every once in a while like a cigar, and I don't know why. I'm not a cigar. I don't smoke, but I can't get rid of it. All right. Couple of quick reminders to everybody. Again, I want to thank everybody for watching us here on Facebook, whether it's my show page, The Aaron's Hour Show, or WWDB TV Las Vegas. Of course, if you like YouTube, that's okay. We still love you for YouTube. Not a big deal. You can go out there and watch it. Send your comments in. John will show them to me. Now, of course, in a couple of days, go to Roku. You download the WWDB TV channel to Roku, and you catch all of the shows that are there available on John's network. There are a plethora of shows with which to watch. Now, today, we've got a packed show. So I'm going to not do Vegas Unwrapped 2.0 today. It is not being dismissive of my buddy Ricky Cash up there in heaven. Although I did tell a couple of jokes yesterday on Kiwanis Connects that were Jets related in his honor. So y'all can go back to that and watch it if you'd like. But so here's what we've got lined up for you today. Now, first of all, today's show is presented by 3 brand new sponsors. Sweet Peas Bakehouse. Go to their website, www.sweetpeasbakehouse.com. Shipping is available come January 1st, so all the goodies you can get. Novelty Sports Art. That's my buddy Rod. That's who we're going to see after the break. We're going to interview him about what he has to offer. I've kind of talked about it. We've shown stuff. NoveltySportsArt.com.
Hopefully he'll show up.
Right? Hopefully he'll show up. If he doesn't, Houston, we have a major problem. But novelty stuff for your sports fan, even if you're not a sports fan, but you know somebody who is, again, it's a great gift idea. And then Pleases Tickles This Punch, premiering today, our newest sponsor, Tidewater Community College. So check them out. We're going to run their commercials. You can check all of those sponsors out by going to aronshour.vegas. Click on the sponsors tab. All of the sponsors are there, including The Voice now has his own merchandise shop, embroidery stuff, where I get all, except for my jerseys. That's from another company. But whenever I wear my polo shirts, all my logos for all my shows are up there. You can get them in shirts, T-shirts, whatever you want, including WWDB-TV. I got their logo up there as well, so you can get stuff with John's stuff on there. So check it all out. Call us, 702-992-3207. Then in the back half of the show, our good buddy Rick Upchurch, former Denver Bronco wide receiver, member of the Denver Broncos Ring of Honor, will be joining me later on. We're going to talk a little football, but also we're going to talk about
okay, so I have a question. I mean,
okay.
I'm not that big a football fan.
That's okay.
So what the hell is the Ring of Honor?
It's kind of like a Hall of Fame specific
right.
to the team. So if you've ever been in a football stadium,
right,
between the ground level seats and the first mezzanine, there's that overhang.
Right.
The front lip of that mezzanine is called a what? A ring.
Okay.
And so when they retire numbers, they put the number and the name of that individual in that ring.
Okay.
And that's why it's called the Ring of Honor.
Okay.
Good
so
question.
It's not a ring like a Super Bowl ring.
But he does get a ring and also a plaque. And I tried to pull down some pictures of him standing in front of the plaque when he was inducted. But unfortunately, the format of the picture was too big for me to upload into StreamYard. But he does get a ring, and he has a beautiful plaque with his number, and his number is basically retired. Nobody for the Broncos will ever wear number 80 ever again.
You know, we do have that picture at the beginning of the Novelty Sports commercial.
We do, and that's a great segue, because when we play that commercial before we have Rod come on, that's a great point. Take note of it. As a matter of fact, the jersey that I won at an auction at a celebrity grudge match golf tournament that I hosted a couple of years ago, I actually won Rick's jersey. I think I've shown it in the show in the past. He autographed it for me. Well, my wife was kind enough to shadow box it for me. It's now framed, and now I just got to get to a piece of wall behind the television and put it up in this godforsaken office that has no wall space left. All right, with that, let's step aside for a first break. When we come back, we're going to visit with Rod Patrick. NoveltySportsArt.com will join us to talk about what he has. Don't go anywhere. A lot of show today. We'll be right back.
Switching to a vegan dessert doesn't mean sacrificing flavor or texture. At Sweet Peas Bakehouse, our pastries are designed to be just as delightful as their traditional counterparts. Sweet Peas Bakehouse features rich flavors and satisfying textures that will please any palate. From decadent brownies to light and fluffy cakes, each bite is a celebration of natural sweetness, free from artificial additives. Indulgent treats that not only taste great, but also nourish the body by visiting www.sweetpeaswithazbakehouse.com. Experience the difference that nature-inspired baking can make at Sweet Peas Bakehouse. Call 804-214-7773 today and taste the goodness.
Your path to a meaningful career begins at Tidewater Community College. We're here to help you every step of the way, from application to financial aid, to helping you transfer to the four-year college of your choice, and even placement in in-demand careers. Whether you're looking to transition from the military, want to go part-time while you work, or make a full-time career change, TCC is here for you with multiple campuses throughout the region. Enroll today at Tidewater Community College. From here, go anywhere.
Hello, I'm Rick Upchurch, former Denver Bronco Ring of Famer. In life, there are rivalries, and then there are football rivalries. Broncos Raiders, Packers Vikings, Washington Dallas. But what happens when those sports rivalries invade a household? You know the scenario. Grandma loves Ohio State, but Grandpa loves Michigan. Novelty Sports Art has the type of artwork that simply adds fuel to the fire. The drip helmets depicted those hated rivalries with a splash of humor and color. These original artwork prints can be hung in the man cave, she shed, or the centerpiece at the next family reunion. Visit www.noveltysportsart.com and order from our listed inventory. You can also call 804-505-5669 for ordering details. A great sports rivalry should be honored as a novelty.
You betcha. That is correct. What a great commercial to run. I'll tell you why, because later on tonight, my Nittany Lions right here talking to rivalries, going up against Oregon for the Big Ten championship, man. And another rivalry, Michigan over Ohio State. And we have something that's going to depict that right now. Joining me, I'm so excited to have one of the owners of a company called Novelty Sports Art. You just saw it there. His name is Roderick Patrick. Let's welcome him in, John. Let's bring him in. Mr. Rod, there he is. He is a Jets fan, ladies and gentlemen. All of you know I'm a Giants fan, but hey, I will look past that. You know why? Because Rod is a great guy. He's got a great product here, and we're able to get some time with him. Rod, how are you, sir?
Hi, Aaron. I'm great. Thanks for asking.
You are looking very good, my friend. The only thing we need to do, if you could just shift a little to your left, because your name is like right over your mouth. It's like shoulder, like what's that comedian? There you go. That has the tape over his mouth in Vegas. John will know who that is. Got to see that smile. So welcome to the show. Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been following my social media, if you've been following my Facebook, if you're following Instagram, if you're following LinkedIn, if you're checking my website out, you will see that Novelty Sports Art is a proud sponsor of the Aaron's Hour show. And I'll tell you what, I love businesses like this, the small to medium-sized business that gets out there and gets right to the heart of the issue. I don't know if y'all can see that. But there's my Nittany Lions taking over the Syracuse helmet. Yes, this is a divorce decree with my wife. Unfortunately, my background's not working very well. Rob, thank you for joining us. How was your holiday, by the way? How was Thanksgiving? You guys do okay?
We had a great holiday, lots of fun with family, good food, ate a lot, and just chilled and enjoyed the football games.
There you go. You know what? There was a lot of football, not only the pros that Thursday, the 3 games, but of course, college now this time of year. So yeah, and we have some pictures which we'll show here in a few minutes, but I want to kind of get behind it a little bit. I want to just let my audience know, let's get a little history, a little bio about yourself. Tell my audience your background just a little bit. And then quite frankly, the novelty of Novelty Sports Art. How'd you get started in this and how long the company's been there?
So I'm an ex-New Yorker. I've relocated to Virginia with my employer about 30 years ago.
Okay.
And so after retiring from the federal government, I have been fluctuating between volunteering my time and this concept of opening a new business.
Mm-hmm.
And so in 2019, I had an encounter, and out of that encounter, after meeting a fellow, we were inspired by how this concept is gonna tap right into the emotion of these great football fans, you know, that you see, the characters, the personalities,
Sure.
and this concept, this design, it's really colorful, it's emotional, it addresses your senses, and we just felt like, you know what, this is the time where we can start pushing out drip helmets. And that is the copyright for what you see, drip helmets. And
that's because of the concept of the drip of the paint from the can onto the helmet. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. Now, did you come up with that phrase, or is that drip out there within the industry that you're able to utilize it for your concept?
No, I can't say I take responsibility or credit for the phrase. I do know that the drip helmets is just the genesis of it, because after the start of and the opening of the business, the fan feedback has turned it into, hey, you're pouring it on, you're dumping on them.
I love it.
Yes, and so that's what a lot of the window shoppers and the people viewing the artwork, they're giving me that feedback, and that's kind of taking a life of its own. And and some of it gets kind of cheeky. You're pissing on them. You're getting washing them out, and so again, that concept of it coming out of the top sports entity and pouring it down on the bottom helmet, it's gotten renamed, I would say, so many times. And so I really appreciate the customers and the fans and their enthusiasm for it once they see it.
Well, I absolutely love it. I mean, I probably haven't shared this in the past to my audience because I always talk about new sponsors and new businesses that I meet. But Rod, you and I met at a farmer's market. I mean, you were out showing your product. To be honest with everybody, my wife and I were stopping by to pick up some goodies from Sweet Pea's Bakehouse, by the way, Miss Pamela. And I was talking with her in the parking lot. My wife came onto the promenade where you were. You guys already struck up a conversation. When I was done talking with Pamela, I turned around and she goes, honey, you need to take a look at this. And so I come over. There you are in all your Jets gear, right? And me with the Giants fan. And of course, both being from the New York, New Jersey area, you and I just kind of hit it off instantly. And I too, listen, truth be told, my friend, I fell in love with the concept. I fell in love with the artwork. And I know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to dispel any rumors right here. I have it on good authority from his wife that Rod can't even color within the lines and paint by numbers. So there is an artist that he works with who wants to stay in the background, then that's okay. So he can focus on the artwork. He's the one that does the artwork. Rod is the front man. He's the guy that you see here talking about. And maybe one day we'll, be kind of like one of those little conspiracy theories. Maybe we'll get a picture of the artist someday out there all blurry or something. So, and sure enough, man, and then just you and I chatting about football, really. And at this time of year too, with football and college wrapping up now into the playoffs and the NFL more than halfway through, this is the best time for football. And I think you guys hit it right on. This is the right time for the emotion of football for people to look for unique gifts. John, can you pop up one of the, let's pop up the multiple picture first. Let's show the big one with all the help. There you go. So here's an idea. I mean, well, of course, the top one there on the left is one I'm not happy about. Jets dripping on my That's okay for the sake of the show. Really, so you have, how many professional NFL pieces are up on the website right now, noveltysportsart.com? They can find the NFL and college. How many NFL pieces do you have right now up there?
Okay, so right now our present inventory that you'll see online on the website is 45, and then you have an additional 15 college pieces.
Now, if someone has a set of teams that they want to do that is not on the site, can they reach out for special order? Absolutely. They should call the number that we have on the website, and once they call and indicate the teams that they prefer, we're able to work that custom design up for them. Now, also, too, your pieces come framed and unframed, correct? As two separate pieces. Right. The two products the two options we offer are a 13 by 19 poster, and we also offer a framed version, and your frame is going to be 11 by 17 glass enclosed frame. It's not actually glass, plexiglass. I'm going to do this for the sake of total transparency. Here are my two pieces. I took my background down, so here you have it. I did get it with the frame. You see my nittany lines. Now, Syracuse, that's my wife's team. So I kind of got away with this only because she didn't know I ordered this from Rod. He kind of brought it over like at 2 a.m. when nobody was looking, and I snuck it in the house. So you can see that one there. And then, of course, this was a tough choice. And it's a good thing my buddy Rafi didn't see this, who was just in town. He's an Eagles fan. But, of course, my Giants. And I really wish this was pouring on the Jets helmet. That would kind of be really ironic for today's interview. So listen, folks, I have two pieces. They hang here in my office. Well, they will eventually when I get them back on the wall. And I love them because they do spark fun. My wife almost didn't let you in the house with the one with the Syracuse and Penn State one. And she almost did that with you. Yeah, I admire you. You're a man of much courage to do that. Well, after almost 36 years, I have no choice. Neither does she for that matter. So you mentioned the phone number. Let me give it out right now. So you can go to the website, noveltysportsart.com. You can check the inventory, the colleges. Like you said, there's about 15 colleges. There's a ton of pro. But if you click the email that's on the site, roderickpatrick.rp@gmail.com, that's right on the site. You can email or call 804-505-5669, which you saw in the commercial on the logo, 804-505-5669. Oh, and by the way, folks, if you go to aaronshour.vegas, my website, go to the little sponsor tab at the top. You click on there. You're going to see the Novelty Sports Art logo right there. You can click on that, and that'll go to the website. So really, seriously, folks, the holidays are upon us. Christmas is what, about 2.5 weeks away, 3 weeks away. Hanukkah starting right after that. Kwanzaa, or if you just want a gift that's unique to your favorite sports fan, college football and all that stuff, take advantage of it. Now, we're talking football, but I have it on good authority there, Mr. Roderick, that you and your partner, what can we give him a name? Can we call him Mr. Crayola or something? It looks like Roderick is frozen. Oh, there he is. I got to give him a nickname like Mr. Crayola or Mr. Drip. There you go. Future inventory of sports. What are you guys looking at down the line coming up after football to include?
All right, so we have on the drawing board some NASCAR concepts, rivalries. That was something I was interested in. Those are really big, the rivalries between the drivers and the driving teams.
Okay,
and we've got, and basketball is on the horizon, and soccer is something we're going to take a look at. We're going to do a little more research, and we hope to have a product that depicts the soccer rivalries as well.
Okay. Now, I noticed, though, we've got college football. I mean, you've got football, the NFL. You haven't mentioned the other three major league sports, the other major league sports, pro hockey. You did mention basketball, right? You did mention basketball and baseball. Yes. Why have I not heard the other two major sports leagues? Is it because of logo use? Is it legality of it? Why have you not brought those up yet?
Yes, there are some hindrances, but we felt the rivalries that are heated and worthy of the intense time that we're going to have to put in. We felt those rivalries of among football, soccer, basketball rivalries, they lend themselves to what we feel we can do best. But yeah, and not as much baseball.
Okay, well, that's fair. Although I would think, back where John is in Las Vegas, I would think that any picture depicting the Golden Knights dripping onto, let's say, the San Jose Sharks, which is a big rivalry out on the West Coast, or basketball, you've got the Knicks and the Nets in Boston and everything else. Hockey, and baseball, Yankees and Red Sox. But listen, I respect you're obviously listening to the industry. You're listening to what people are asking for and providing. How long has the company been around now?
Yeah, so thanks for asking. In 2019, we decided to go forward with this, and of course, we did run into the pandemic, and we tried to continue to muddle through, and so we hope that we're really into our real growth season, and we're happy and delighted to feel like we're really about to break through into our real productive season with Novelty Sports Art. Yep.
Right on. Well, there's a couple. So, I know John has a couple more pictures, and the first one I'm going to ask him to put up is the one in honor of my good friend and our good friend Scott Hosey out there in Vegas. He owns a company called Power Play Sports Collectibles. I've known him for many years. He's a great guy as well, but he's a big Michigan Wolverine guy. He's from the Michigan area. There you go. And listen, I have to admit, last weekend I was rooting for Michigan. I needed them to beat Ohio State to help my Nittany Lions here get into the Big Ten championship. So that one's for you, Scott. That's out there. And then I think we have a pro football one we could show. Speaking of where I am right now, the Washington Redskins and Baltimore Ravens are obviously two very popular teams this way, but the Redskins more than anything else, you can see them there dumping on the Cowboys. So those are some great pieces, all available on the website. You do ship, which of course is calculated in the pricing, I presume, correct?
Yes, that is correct, John. We are able to ship.
You can ship anywhere. They're great for the TV room, the game room, the wherever you guys want an office like my place here. And listen, I just pulled up some of the college logos, and I want to share some of these with my audience. You talk about now in the NFL, there's rivalries. It's kind of like what Rick. And by the way, thank you to Rick Upchurch for doing the voiceover on the commercial for Novelty Sports Card. As luck would have it. Go ahead, Rod. Say again.
Okay, you cut out on me a minute, but I did want to say, yeah, thanks. Big shout out to Rick Upchurch. I was just proud and tickled that Rick wanted to be a part of our voiceover for the Novelty Sports ad. That was just a great gift to me that he did something like that.
Yeah, he's a good guy, and I'm glad he was able to do it. I just want to let our audience know you've got Alabama and Auburn on the same picture, Alabama and LSU, Army, Navy. You've got Clemson and South Carolina. Florida and Florida State. I mean, folks, you talk about rivalries in the college ranks. Now, there's also helmets of the singles. Now, you do have on the website a Penn State drip helmet itself, where it's that particular helmet is not dripping onto another team. It's just the Penn State paint pouring onto itself to just kind of sharpen the colors. So you can get some of these with just one team on it, correct?
Sure, Aaron. Yeah, so that the monotone, in which is just the uniform color of the one team, the home team or your favorite team, that monotone look, that came out of feedback from customers. The feedback was along the lines of, hell, man, if I'm going to hang something in my man cave or in my office, I don't want any other team's colors. Oh. And so that helped fashion some of those monotone designs.
I love the, you know what, heck, I don't want anybody else's colors in my room. I like that.
The original concept started. So yeah, so that kind of feedback from the fans is just tremendous, and it's really fun to get them so actively involved when they're viewing and purchasing the drip helmets.
Absolutely. I mean, again, pulling up, here's one that I know John can associate with. There's the Denver Broncos pouring on top of the Raiders, which of course would get Rick and George Miklos going, our other two co-hosts there in Las Vegas for our old show, The Roundtable. Okay, so I'm sorry, I get giddy over this stuff, so I keep going in so many different directions. So I know here locally, and so I want to give you an opportunity to talk about where people can see you coming up over the next couple of weeks through the holidays. I know you go out and do events. Do you have some places off the top of your head where people can find you in person who maybe are in the local areas they watch this?
Sure. You've already referenced the farmers market, and there's a big event coming up there this Saturday, December the 7th. And so please, that's in Virginia Beach, Virginia, at the intersection of Princess Anne Road and Dam Neck Road. Okay, and so I'm there. I am also a contract vendor at the Oceana Navy Exchange. Virginia Beach and surrounding area are able to purchase from me all month long at my station in the Oceana Navy Exchange. Okay, and I hope to at the turn of the year get another Norfolk Naval Air Station, and so that's something I'm hoping to work on, and with a little luck and turn of events, the ultimate goal is to be in the Walmart, in their store aisles, and on Amazon. And right so yeah. the push. Okay, we're hoping and believing that's where we'll be in the next year coming.
No, absolutely. And I love it. Those are big targets to hit. Well, I didn't mean to say target when you brought up Walmart, but those are great goals to have in the coming year or two, because I think with the way you're going on this, they're very reasonable. They're very obtainable, because the way that it seems like the art is catching on, and the way people are talking about them. And like I said, I mean, I'm a big fan of them because I've got 2 of the pieces here in my own office. So I know that they're out there. They're exciting. And I can't wait to see the other sports be represented when you add those lines. And of course, look, with what one of the benefits of us working together, when I see opportunities for the folks I'm working with, there's other things that can possibly line up. I mean, I've got Tidewater Community College as a new sponsor, to have your pieces in perhaps the bookstores there for the students with the rivalry,
Sure.
So there's always possibilities. Now, we only have a couple of minutes left. So what I want to do, and I didn't tell you that I was going to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I know you're involved with helping your community with some things with your ministry. You and your wife are involved with some other things. I would be remiss if I didn't bring that up and give you an opportunity to share what else you're doing and some events and things that you have coming up to help the local community from a philanthropic standpoint, not just the novelty sports. So share a little bit about that if you don't mind.
And thanks, Aaron, for giving me the chance to talk about ministry, which is something important to me. I am at the New Jerusalem Church in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and we are, my wife and I are participate in the couples ministry, which helps to restore and nurture couples relationships. And we are also in the outreach ministry where we deliver visitation and prayers to the homebound. And we do that the first of the month. That's called the communion ministry. We're going into the nursing homes to the sick and shut in. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention I'm on the great leadership there under pastor. His name is Pastor Dr. Whitey Bernie Thorogood. And he's a great man and someone I greatly admire. And one of the other things is that the men began a service to the community where we would go out and volunteer at the elementary schools in the area. And we targeted the schools that were nearby surrounding the community that we most wanted to affect. And the men would go in and serve as mentors and volunteers and people who could mentor and counsel the young people in the elementary schools in the area. We were willing to work with not only young boys, but young girls as well. And the high percentage of families with single parent households greatly benefit from the voice that we often gave as male role models and male figures. And so that was really satisfying. And as a outgrowth of that, I actually got an opportunity to work in the Virginia Beach City Schools permanently as an outgrowth of that work in the ministry. And I work at one of the local elementary schools called Holland Elementary. And I work with a great leader in the school system named Dr. Richardson. And believe it or not, my wife also found satisfaction in serving the young people in the Virginia Beach City public school system as well.
And listen, you've got a full life. Yeah, you've got a full life going on, and of course, with all the years of civil service that you said you did earlier, and you're on the path of doing the things that you want to do. I just want to remind everybody the website for Novelty Sports Art is noveltysportsart.com. It's not very tricky, folks. Noveltysportsart.com. You can give them a call at 804-505-5669. That's 804-505-5669. If there's something you want that is not on the site, call Roderick. He'll work it out with you. He'll get you the design with Mr. Crayola back there. Or you can email him at roderickpatrick.rp, just like the 2 initials of his name, roderickpatrick.rp@gmail.com. You can communicate with there. He's also on Facebook. You got the website. Go to aaronshour.vegas, go to the advertisers tab, and you'll be able to see his logo there. Click on that, and that'll take you to his website as well. All right, we are about out of time for this segment, my friend. Listen, I want to thank you for taking time with us today. letting everybody know about Novelty Sports Art, because I've only been screaming about it for a couple of months now. So now they get to hear it from you. And of course, everything else you're doing to help us support the Virginia Beach community. You can't put a price tag on something like that. We appreciate it. Mr. Roderick, thank you for taking time with me today, sir.
Hey, Aaron, I want to say thank you to you, and I appreciate you. And like you said, from the moment we met, we decided to call it. Really appreciate you for that. Thanks, man.
You got it, Roderick. All right, everybody, you're watching Aaron's Hour with Aaron Phillips, coast to coast. When we come back, we're going to tie everything up in a nice little neat bow. So don't go anywhere. More with me right after this.
Hello, I'm Rick Upchurch, former Denver Bronco Ring of Famer. In life, there are rivalries, and then there are football rivalries. Broncos, Raiders, Packers, Vikings, Washington, Dallas. But what happens when those sports rivalries invade a household? You know the scenario. Grandma loves Ohio State, but Grandpa loves Michigan. Novelty Sports Art has the type of artwork that simply adds fuel to the fire. The drip helmets depicted those hated rivalries with a splash of humor and color. These original artwork prints can be hung in the man cave, she shed, or the centerpiece at the next family reunion. Visit www.noveltysportsart.com and order from our listed inventory. You can also call 804-505-5669 for ordering details. A great sports rivalry should be honored as a novelty.
Switching to a vegan dessert doesn't mean sacrificing flavor or texture. At Sweet Pea's Bakehouse, our pastries are designed to be just as delightful as their traditional counterparts. Sweet Pea's Bakehouse features rich flavors and satisfying textures that will please any palate. From decadent brownies to light and fluffy cakes, each bite is a celebration of natural sweetness, free from artificial additives. Indulgent treats that not only taste great, but also nourish the body by visiting www.sweetpeaswithazbakehouse.com. Experience the difference that nature-inspired baking can make at Sweet Pea's Bakehouse. Call 804-214-7773 today and taste the goodness.
With an award-winning and dedicated faculty and 4 beautiful campuses, Tidewater Community College proudly serves nearly 25,000 students a year, 48% of whom pursue degrees that let them transfer to four-year institutions. At Tidewater Community College, 65% of our students attend part-time, so they can earn while they learn, and 1/3 of our students are military-related. Enroll today at Tidewater Community College. From here, go anywhere.
How about now? Is that better? There we go.
Yes. I was trying to read your lips, but I couldn't write fast enough.
Sweet peas. We didn't get sweet peas in that last run. We'll run it at the end.
Yeah, we did.
Just now?
Yeah, we did. I did the sports, I did sweet pea, and then I did the college.
That's what I get for dozing off during commercial break. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank everybody for watching.
Pay attention, man.
I'm trying to. All right. We are waiting
for reverse order that I did it. Yeah.
That's probably what threw me off. We are waiting for Rick Upchurch to connect. During the commercial break, folks, you see I had to change my background because part of my conversation with Rick today is going to be football. And of course, later on tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, the one and only important game on my schedule today, my Nittany Lions will be taking on the Oregon Ducks in the Big Ten Championship. And boy, I really, really need my Nittany Lions to come up with a big win and get that bye in the first series. Now, unfortunately,
why? How much did you bet on?
I didn't bet anything. So I'm ahead.
Well, then they got a chance.
Well, exactly. Well, I didn't bet on UNLV yesterday, but they also lost yesterday in the Mountain West Conference finals to Boise State, 21-7. Listen, UNLV had a great season this year as far as football is concerned. I mean, they were ranked number 22 going into the game last night. I want to say they were 10-2 before the game. Hopefully they should get a relatively respectable bowl to finish out their year. So good job by the Rebels this past year and everything, even with their quarterback leaving the team mid-year and going into the transfer portal. It still worked out in the end for them as well. So good for them. So there's a lot of games. This is rivalry weekend. This is the college football time of year where we're getting ready for the new playoff system with 12 teams making the playoff pool for the college football championship.
This would be a good time to order your rivalry picture.
Hence the great segue, John. Yes, noveltysportsart.com. So you know what? When you've got these games this weekend in conferences, yes, this would be a great opportunity to look at those prints. And if you see, if you have a rivalry that's not part of, Rick just messaged me, he's not on yet.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And you messaged him back with the link?
I did earlier. I told him to use the one that I resent this morning.
All right.
Just in case, with all the trouble that everybody's been having with all the issues, I just figured.
He says he's not on yet, and he says he should be. So maybe he didn't get your note.
Okay. Well, then send him a note back and say, double check his email this morning. Use that link.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you have live shows. You deal with these things.
Dude, listen, we come off 10 times better than the big guys do. So I don't want to hear it. You know, it's, I mean, every time I see their screw ups and I go, ha ha.
That's right. Not us, baby. That's right.
And they got millions of dollars and 835 bodies standing around
trying to figure out which way is up.
Yeah.
But, what was I don't even remember what we were talking about. Oh, UNLV. So UNLV had a good year. Penn State's on today. But this is bowl season, rivalry week. Novelty Sports Art is a great segue. You know what? Have some fun with the rivalries. One thing I did notice with the schedule for the
I want to get one with the Cowboys pouring on the Cowboys.
Believe it or not, well, they do have that.
They are their biggest rivals.
They are their biggest. That's right. I saw a meme come up. You know why the astronauts never returned to Dallas? Because you can't get a touchdown anywhere in Dallas. That's why. I
love the one about how many astronauts there are from Ohio and what makes Ohio want to get all these people to leave. Hey, it's Rick Upchurch.
Rick Upchurch. Now, let's see. He got the memo on the college gear. Look at that, all geared out in his Minnesota Gopher stuff. I got Penn State happening. John's got what do you have behind you? Got Max Headroom,
and my girlfriend.
Oh,
hey,
yes.
Hey, what about those guys for Army, man? Army's kicking butt, boy. These guys, man, just won their first conference championship, and they just got in.
Tell you what, gotta love the service teams, all of them. But Army is the most notable, right?
Absolutely, man. Well, you know, next week, I think it's next week, they have the Commander-in-Chief trophy that they're going to be playing Navy against. So that should be exciting.
That's right. Army beat Tulane 35-14 last night. They are now 11-1, and for sure they're going to be getting some good bowl. Attention. Rick. We were just also.
I have a really good comment about that. About the Commander-in-Chief's Cup, but we don't do politics here, so I'm not going to do it.
Is it football related?
Yeah.
You can talk about if it's football.
Okay, so for the next 4 years, the teams are going to be playing to lose, so they don't end up with the Commander-in-Chief trophy.
Gotcha. The preceding comment was those of John Stiles and John Stiles alone. Hey, Mr. Upchurch, how the heck are you? How the heck are you, dude?
You know what? Every day I wake up, man, it's a great, great, great day.
Well, it's a great day to have you on the show. I'm so happy to see your face. As they say, from where I come from, such a punum you have. I could just come over there and grab them cheeks and, you know.
Oh, but you know what? I could just rub your big bald head too, man.
There you go.
Let me rub it. Let me.
There you go. So last night, UNLV lost to Boise State, Mr. Rick, 21-7.
Yeah.
They had a good year, UNLV had for them. What's their feeling in Vegas there today after this loss on Smurf turf to Boise State?
Well, let me tell you, everyone is, they felt like the Rebels had a wonderful, wonderful year. They did some positive things, set some records that they hadn't ever done before. I think it's going to help them as far as recruiting is concerned. And I think everybody is happy with the team and how they played. I think they're bowl eligible as well. So, everybody's excited, probably going to a bowl, and they're taking steps. They're taking steps forward. And each year, I think they're going to get better.
And they should be bowl eligible, for crying out loud, with a record of 10-2 or 10-3, whatever it is, because we know there are going to be some teams with only 7 wins playing the Poinsettia Toilet Bowl somewhere.
Tidy
Bowl. The Tidy Bowl. So yeah, by all means, they certainly should get into a bowl game. Ooh. And you talk. Go ahead, John.
What is it? Tidewater College.
Tidewater Community College.
Yeah, they should hold the Tidy Bowl.
Listen, I just got them as a sponsor, John. Let's not have them run away just yet. Will you please give it a couple of weeks, okay?
But tell me what's in the toilet bowl. I don't know that bowl.
Well, it's so bad.
It depends on whether you just get there or you're leaving.
Oh, okay.
Either way, it could be a crappy game, and we just have to flush it out of our system.
You should have known you were going to lose control with the two of us on.
Oh, I knew that. I was planning, but that's why I'm glad, because with the voice I have, it's okay today. But seriously, one thing I noticed with this, and we'll talk about the 12-team format here in a second. I think 12 teams was too many. I think 8 would have been a better number, but it could be like the basketball tournament, Rick. You could have 60 teams in there, and there's always going to be the 61st team that's going to say coulda, woulda, shoulda. Now you got people arguing about Alabama and Miami, and we got 12 teams in there. One thing I noticed, and it's a very small thing, we are, as Americans, we are traditionalists. And the final games of seasons always ended on New Year's Day. Then when they came up with this format, the champion game went 1 week beyond, which was okay. Now, if you look at the schedule for the college football playoffs, the finals will not take place until January 20th.
Yes.
That's a very elongated schedule for these teams, education-wise, traveling-wise. Yeah, they're going to make some more money. They're going to make beaucoup dollars, but it's also costing these teams more money that aren't as rich as those in the lower echelon of the 12. The bottom 6 are not necessarily going to be maybe the bigger money schools. There are some in there. What's your take on the 12 game format?
Myself, I like the 12 team. I really do. And once again, I like the opportunities because so many teams were left out before with the last format. And I thought some teams that needed to be in there as well. And so I think it opens up the door. I think it's good. And like you said, some of those teams, as far as money-wise is concerned, it's going to probably be tough on them. But I think as we go along in those smaller schools or those not most recognized schools, now they'll start getting those type of funds, being able to put it into their coffers in that whole deal. And then they'll be able to compete and also go out and do some NIL as far as recruiting is concerned as well. So I think it's giving those other lower teams a great opportunity, man, to raise themselves up.
So if people out there are not necessarily following college football, that's okay. We kind of dive into this because we're fans as well. I want to go over the top 12 teams as of right now, prior to today's action, that is part of the college football rankings. Number 1 is Oregon. 2 is Texas. 3 is my Nittany Lions. 4 is Notre Dame. Then Georgia, Ohio State, Tennessee, SMU, Indiana, Boise State, Alabama, and Miami. And Boise, SMU, Texas, and Oregon, they are projected right now to have first-round buys, and I'm presuming that's based on a win, I hope,
that's right.
Especially Oregon, and I want to get rid of that because I want my Nittany Lions to get that first-round buy. Because Alabama's name came up with a 3-loss record, right? They have 3 losses. They're 9-3, and they're in the top 12. So why isn't Arizona State ahead of them at 10-2? And I would say, no, I know strength of schedule and all that stuff. If anybody could ever dissect the recipe that these people have to look at to figure out why, but give me an argument for a 3-loss Alabama team to be in the top 12.
It's called tradition. You know, when you talk about tradition and somebody that's won, let's see, they've won what, maybe 12 national championships and that who they're going all the way back to Bear Bryant. And when you have those traditional teams and also they have great followings, and what is it going to do to the airways? People are going to watch Alabama because they're traditional. When you hear their name, everybody wants to watch it. So it has to do with the money, and I think it has to do with the airway ratings and all of those type of things, Aaron. You know, money talks and everything else walks, and Alabama's going to bring those eyes and put butts in the seats.
And from the logic standpoint, Rick, I agree with you 1,000,000%. But from a fan standpoint, a 3-loss team because of tradition. There was a few years ago, Notre Dame also did not have, I think they were like 7-5 or they were at 500, and they still got a bowl bid against teams that had much better records than them. But for all those same reasons, and what I'm concerned with is when you have the Alabamas and those type of situations, it's the flagrant use of the greedy word of money. And that's, you alluded to that, and we know that. And I know the answer before I ask the question. But to me, why then even have a regular season? Why don't we just start with the 12 top teams of traditional teams that always make it, and let's just go right to the playoffs and have the football season.
Trophies.
What's that?
Well,
participation trophies.
Yeah, it's called, once again, it boils down to money, right? Those airways and the ratings and all of those type of things. And so when these ABC, NBC, CBS, ESPN, ESPN2, when they see the numbers, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter about anything else except for the numbers, guys. And you know this, all of you guys know this, because once again, what advertising, man, makes those stations wealthy in that whole deal, right?
Right.
And so if they're getting that type of money because Alabama or Notre Dame, you know, when you say Notre Dame, once again, the first thing you think is tradition. They're the first ones that started, you know, with the teams, man, getting a TV deal and that whole deal. I think it was with CBS or NBC. And so now everybody's following the tradition of what Notre Dame started way back, I think about 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, being that independent where they're not hooked into a conference. Robert Babcock, a friend of mine out there in Vegas, says Romans ruled the world was traditional, but they couldn't win a war against the Philippines nowadays. Traditionally, Alabama isn't the same. And look, every great program, professionally or otherwise, is always going to have those spots in their timeline where they take a few steps back. You can't help it. So do we want to continue to reward mediocrity in this fashion just because of tradition? I don't know. So I can't believe we're down only like 5 minutes left in the show. So I want to throw a couple of games your way, and then I want to quickly talk about the NFL and a couple of news, and then maybe a little. We got so much to do in 5 minutes. So give me your take on the Penn State Oregon game tonight. And I won't hold you. And I won't hold you.
That Oregon football team is awful good. They're awful good on both sides of the ball, and their special teams are exceptional as well. They're playing with a lot of confidence. You know, they beat Ohio State, and you know, they're just flying high. And for them to just come into the Big Ten, and you know, now playing for the championship, I like Oregon a lot. You're going to have to come out and you're going to have to play your A game against them. But Penn State, you know, they're one of those traditional teams. Year in and year out, they win, and they win ugly. They don't win pretty. They win ugly because they play that traditional Midwest Big Ten football.
Penn State is getting 3.5 in tonight's game. You know, obviously, you know who I'm rooting for. 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 on the West Coast out there. A couple of other quick traditional games. Georgia and Texas. Thoughts on that game?
Oh, my goodness. That's going to be a knockdown drag out. But let me tell you, if Georgia can run the football, which they do very well, if they can run the football, they can control the clock and keep the ball out of Texas' hands because they have an explosive offense as well. I think it's going to be one in the trenches with these guys. Yeah, who can move who off the ball? And I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. And I'm going to go with Texas on this one. I really am, because I don't think you can beat a team twice like Georgia has done, with Texas. And I think Texas, man, have a burr up their butt. And I think they're going to come out and play very well today. I think they win this one today.
And Texas is number 2 in the top 12. All right, real quickly, let's shift quickly to the NFL. Couple of bullet points I want to hit you with. Aaron Rodgers, does he retire at the end of this year?
I hope he does. It's time for Aaron to take a seat, man. His days are over. Let these young kids come in and play the game, man. Let me tell you, Aaron, and not the Aaron Phillips I'm talking to right now, right? Not that one. I'm talking about the other guy. He needs to go sit his butt down, have him a nice coffee or tea or a nice beer, and watch the game.
I told a joke yesterday on Kiwanis Connects. What does Jets stand for? Just end the season.
Yeah.
I did a bunch of football themed jokes. That was funny that came out. All right, your prediction for who's going to match up in the Super Bowl?
Let me tell you, Kansas City's playing awful well, but they're not winning like they normally do. And I wouldn't expect them to because, when you go back to back and then going for, a three-peat in that whole deal, it's awful, awful hard. But let me tell you, when you have Patrick Mahomes and you have, the coach over there, Coach Reed, they're always going to be in the game and their defense is playing well. Also, I think, over in the NFC, you got some great teams over there. You're talking about Philadelphia's playing well. The Detroit Lions are just playing lights out. You got Green Bay. So it's going to be a toss-up over there in the NFC.
Real quickly, what was your thought on Dan Campbell going for that 4th down at the end of the game?
Hey, no, if you don't have any glory, that means that you didn't put nothing on the line. Hey, man, sometimes you got to, man, let you guys know that we trust you and go get it. Hey, that's what you do.
Since becoming coach of the Lions, he has converted 31% of his 4th down conversions, leading the NFL since he became coach of the Lions. So I love
like him a lot. I really do. As a coach, they've bought into the culture. They're playing well.
I want to see my pick right now would be the Lions. I just hope the Giants win the number 1 pick. By the way, kudos to your boy Bo Nix out there in Colorado, rookie of the year. Rookie of the year.
Yeah, baby.
Could he get rookie of the year?
Let me tell you, he could because we're 8-5 now. We're on a bye, and we're going to come back, and I think we're going to be even stronger. We're going to have to beat those Los Angeles Chargers in order to really put ourselves in a situation to get into the playoffs because we know Kansas City is going to win the division. So I really like Bo Nix. Remember I told you, everybody was like, well, how are they going to do? How are the Broncos going to do? We started out slow. And I said, wait a minute, let the cake cook. You got to put the cake in the oven and allow this cake to cook. And now they're narrowing the play calls down. He's getting familiar with his receivers and all of those things. The defense is playing lights out. They're getting turnovers. I like our chances of getting to the playoffs and playing well.
It's a great comeback story, and I certainly hope that it works. All right, real quickly, if I say to you 4 words, Rick, we're down to about 2 minutes. I'm going to give you 4 words in 1 sentence. First thing that comes to mind when I say to you, buy low, sell high.
Gold and silver and collectibles.
Okay. That's a little tease, folks. Rick and I are formulating some plans to host a new show called Buy Low, Sell High to talk to you all about how to protect yourself moving forward financially against the economy, as well as creating generational wealth and assets for you and your family for generations to come. Rick, thank you so much for jumping on, my friend. Always a pleasure to see you and be part of the conversation. Love to Donna and hope that other shoulder of hers, whichever one is left, we can get working right there. So,
well, let me tell you, man, she's slapping me enough. She's getting physical therapy, so she's doing really well with the
a lot more forearms, I bet, than full swings at this point, right?
And no doubt you deserve it.
That's right.
Thanks a lot. I love you guys.
I want to remind everybody, today's show is brought to you by Sweet Peas Bakehouse, Novelty Sports Art, Tidewater Community College. We want to thank them for jumping on board. Next week's show, I have 1 guest confirmed, maybe a second one. Tema Hammond, the founder and owner of GoldenNetwork.tv, will be joining us to talk about some new things coming into 2025. And John, ease up there, buddy. And that you should have taken yourself off camera. I should have given you a heads up on that one. I may also have the owner of Rustic Redesign Customs. He was supposed to be on today. Unfortunately, he fell ill. He's a new sponsor coming on in January. Also, some great gift ideas. So a lot going on. Just watch my promo posts on social media. As always, everybody, be kind to everybody. Why? We are all we have. Thank you for watching, everybody. Rick, thank you again for jumping on. As always, John, have a great week, and we'll see everybody next week. Thank you for watching. Out of here.